Paul. Yes. I was telling you about Dave Reed. Yes. Oh, did I say his last name? Ouch. Oh. Now, there's what's known as fraudulent misrepresentation, fraud, perjury, libel, and slander are not protected under the First Amendment. A fraud is a misrepresentation of a material fact and is intended to cheat people out of their property. Libel and slander are false and malicious statements about another. Perjury is lying under oath. Oh, now this fraud, yes, perjury, libel, and slander, they're not protected. Pooch. Well, what happened was, I found out that Clallam County issued a protection order in 2011. Yes, where I wasn't a resident. They took my sons from me and they refused to acknowledge the laws. This happens to a lot of Americans where they end up in some little county, ouch, where one of the judges is corrupt, ouch. And then they think, well, we can do whatever the fuck we want. Now, for each time that you arrested me without an actual valid protection order, pooch, there was a sheriff that sent an email to those in law enforcement that said I was mentally ill. I would say that's slander and libel. Pooch! It seemed that the sheriff didn't think, okay, that you didn't have to enforce the actual laws of the United States. Now I'm going to sue you, Sheriff, for the documented slander and libel of saying I'm mentally ill for wanting the actual laws. Now, when I look through those that are incarcerated, Dave Reed's going to get a cell phone, and pooch, those that know, they're going to ask for their complete judicial record from the time they were first arrested, because they have a right to have that, too. And then they'll remember that one judge, or that prosecuting attorney that just had to put them away. Pooh. Now, Americans are going to kind of get smart because this handbook does a good explanation of exactly what due process is. Now, for every time that Dave and this other vampire type of guy, yes, they go through and they read this, pooch, and they think to themselves, well, how much could we get in a lawsuit? Now, once a month, I call Dave at any location that he's at in the wild. I said, Dave, you got a couple lawsuits for me? Now, I'm getting somewhat educated about how these laws work. Pooch. Now, I contact the family of the individual that's in prison. I say, well, I have my two men look at it. Chooch. They think that you really got fucked over when you were in your 20s. Because some judge wouldn't look at exactly what the documentation was. Then you got arrested. And you got 5 fucking years because nobody would look at what the law says. Now, you're going to find out that those that are imprisoned in the United States, they're going to get my phone number. And every month I'm going to have 2, could be 3, okay, lawsuits where I'm going to approach the family and introduce myself. Hello, my name's Paul Budnick. I understand that you have a loved one in prison that was fucked over 20 years ago by a corrupt judge. I think we have a real lawsuit. What happens is I get 50% of the judgment because I'm the one that pays for the attorneys. Yes. You get, 30 to 40%, and then my paralegal firm gets 10% plus an amount of the judgment. They get their legal fees paid for. Yes. And the individual that happens to be your relative that's in prison because of the corrupt judiciary that would not enforce their rights, yes. Well, we're going to try to get them out, pooch, because when one judge doesn't enforce the law, it affects the next judge. Ooch, that affects the next judge. Now, in 2012, I was arrested, yes, without any due process in 2011. And then you found me not guilty, the jury did, yes. But it seemed the prosecuting attorney's office doesn't really appreciate how they've been fucking the lives